man, I have to be, I have to be honest with you.
What's up?
I be uncomfortable, man. It's hard for me to make these kind of videos
Trust
because
in the process.
God has been so good to me, man. The Holy Spirit has been so good to me. The universe has been so good to me already, man, in my life that I feel guilty when I say I'm expecting something from God. When I say I'm expecting a blessing from God, because I've had so many. I mean, I am currently enjoying so many blessings. Um, and there's so many people. My grandma used to always say, it's always somebody worse than you. So be careful when you complain, when you start complaining too much. Excuse me, because it's always somebody somewhere that'll love to switch places with you.
And that's absolutely right. Absolutely facts. That's what she used to always tell us. When we were kids, young growing up. After dinner we would eat and we would take our plates to the trash to scrape all the scraps in the trash and he wouldn't follow us to the trash. He wouldn't say, "Hey, what you throwing away? What's that? You better eat that." She wouldn't do none of that. But when we got through, she'll in her own way, she'll be looking and noticing what we throwing away, and she'll just politely say, you know, like I say, we wouldn't get in trouble enough, but she would just basically let us know, that what you just threw away, that piece of chicken you just threw away, it's a kid out here somewhere that's going to be hungry tonight, and they would have loved to have had that little piece of chicken that you threw away. They would have loved to have them scraps you threw away. And even as children, it made us think. You know, you want to know how you live on. Everybody want to live forever, but don't nobody want to die. Don't nobody want to transition. They want to live forever here. But I always say you can live forever on this earth, in this realm, but it's not how you think. It's not going to be you. Well, it ain't going to be this body because you are not your body. The real you is inside. Can't see with the human eyes. And I always say, man, how a person lives forever is through their wisdom and through their love, that energy that they shared with their loved ones and people who had the opportunity to witness and get to know. That's what you leave. That's the part of you that um, if you want to call it that, that lives on down here on this earth. What you deposit into people's hearts and minds, and that's how you live on. That's how mothers and fathers and parents live on to their children, is they live on through their children. And what I mean by that is the wisdom and the love that they gave their children is in their children. It's forever in their children. and now their children are repeating the cycle. Mama gave the wisdom, passed it down to daughter, daughter finna pass it down to her daughter, daughter finna pass it down to her. See what I'm saying? It's a cycle. Why you think people still talk about their great ancestors? You know, if you ever sat at your grandmama's feet and listened to some stories, listen to some, some family uh, geon- uh, genealogy, and listen to some, some wonderful family, just some history. They bring up their elders and their ancestors, and bring up their big mamas and their great grandmamas, who feet they sat at when they were young, when they were kids. They grew up, had children, and their children had children. Now they're teaching their grandchildren. Same thing Big Mama taught them. So you live on in this realm forever through your love, the sacrifices you made. And my grandmother is a perfect example of that. Even though she's physically not with us on this level anymore, her love, her energy, her wisdom, um, her fruits are still here amongst us, and we can eat of that fruit anytime we choose. Anytime you miss a loved one, man, uh, that have transitioned on to the next life. Anytime you miss them, man, you can just go pick a piece of fruit off the tree that they planted, eat it and taste it, and they gonna come alive in you, in your spirit. Even though you can't see them with the physical eyes, with your human eyes, you can see them with your spirit eyes. You can hear them in your spirit talking to you through the wisdom and the fruits that they left us, and she definitely does that. So yeah, talking about blessings and gratitude and just being thankful, and you know, uh, like I was saying, like I was touching on in the earlier videos that I made on my phone. Uh, you gotta trust the process, man. When God say He's gonna bless you, He's gonna give you something. You gotta expect it, and don't be, uh, stand firm in your faith and your belief. Because, like I said, it seems like right before the universe blesses you, uh, right before the universe blesses you, it seems like there's a period of drought. There's this season of lack, this struggle. This untimely struggling. It's like, whoa, Lord just told me He's gonna bless me. So uh, you expecting the blessings, and then here come these storms and these trials. And you're like, hold up, now something ain't it ain't adding up, and that's because you trying to figure it out in your human understanding. You're trying to figure it out in your own understanding. And the words say, lean not or trust not into your own understanding. Don't trust your mind, your mental, physical faculties. Don't trust them because God don't operate with them. God in the universe deal with your spirit, your soul. This human body, they ain't got nothing to do with that. Not saying that they don't want to see your body in good condition as well. They want you to be in good health and eating right and enjoying your because this is, to say to keep it real, this is the vehicle that houses our spirit. So uh, in order to live on this earth, this realm and this density, you need this body, you know, because once this body perishes, the spirit has to move on to another house uh, in order to have that experience. The only reason why we have a body is so we can experience this realm. It's all about experience, experiential. You know, having the experience, and we need this body. So yeah, God, the universe want us to be in good health and want this body healthy. It has a direct result to the spirit. You know, excuse me, but it's not who you are at the end of the day. It's not who you truly are. So we can't lean unto. We can't try to figure God out in our physical faculties because He don't operate in our physical faculties. He operates in our spirit, in our heart, not our physical heart that beat and pumps blood through our body, but our chakra, our center. You know, whenever you hear uh, spiritual teachings and they speak of man's heart or the heart of man, and you're talking about his that physical muscle in his chest that's beats pumping blood. They're talking about his intentions, his his spirituality. The Bible said David was a man after God's own heart, after God's own will, intentions. And I'm gonna do some more studying up on that because I do want to know. That's still something I kind of get confused sometimes. The spirit, the soul, and the mind, three separate things. I want to know what they all do, what's their purpose and function, and how they relate to each other. So when things happen in the physical that don't seem to line up with the word of God, it don't seem to line up with what your spirit has been telling you. Your spirit talking abundance, 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 blessings, 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 but yet you steady getting knocks on the door from the bill collectors. You checking your account, it went from zero to negative something. So you like, I mean, it's not adding up, and in your heart, once again, in your spiritual heart, that God is real. He's not a liar. He's not a liar. You know that he's going to do what he said he's going to do. It's just that you trapped in a sense in this body in this flesh, and so you trying to fight, you know, thinking trust in your flesh and your five senses versus trusting the spirit that has infinite, literally infinite resources and understandings. This body is limited to five: touch, smell, taste, sight, hearing. The spirit, you know. So it it gets frustrating. There's something that mankind has struggled with since the beginning of our evolving and understanding our evolution and understanding of the Creator. And as we evolve and our understanding becomes more spiritual and more developed, trying to keep from saying sophisticated, but 'cause to me that has an earthly vanity type of feel to it. But as our understanding evolves and we become more godlike and spiritual uh, versus flesh and animal like, we start understanding more about who he is and how he operates in our lives. And as we grow and evolve, and those of us who want to evolve and choose to evolve and get to know our Creator uh, as much as we can, we know that when He says He's gonna give us something, He does. He does. And 444, baby. 444, right there on the phone. You dig? Uh, so it's that period of drought, that period of waiting. When it seems like bills are piling up over here, the family issues or whatever piling up over here, your personal issues piling up over here, and you got another stack getting bigger, and you're like, Lord, I'm trying to be still, and I'm trying not to take matters into my own hands, and I'm trying to wait for you. Uh, that's a difficult place. That's a difficult place to be in between blessings, to be in between what you are experiencing and what you are expecting. Experience versus expectation. I like that. I like that. Experience versus expectation. See, because what you expecting from God, what you waiting on God to do for you, you might not be experiencing that at the present moment. So that's why I say experience versus expectation uh, equals evolution. You see how the Spirit just gave me that right here live with y'all. I didn't write this down nowhere. I haven't heard this from no source, man-made source, nothing. It just fell into my spirit. Just like God just dropped it in my spirit right there. Experience versus expectation equals evolution. Man's spiritual evolution. What you experience uh, coupled with uh, in synchronism with what you're expecting. Experience and expectation equals evolution. Because through those channels, through those things, you learn spiritually to grow. And it's all about growth. It's all about spiritual growth. It's all about discernment. Experience versus expectation equals evolution. Can't have evolution. You can't evolve without those two things. Because see, you gotta expect. You gotta expect just as well as as you experience. Because the expectation is the key ingredient to the evolution. Because you know what you experience. You don't experience this life regardless. So you can go through this life just having an experience and never growing spiritually. The key and the object of the creator is and was and is to have us not only have an experience, but within that experience also grow an expectation of him. Expect things from him. That's called faith. You see, and they're not gonna line up all the time. Your experience and your expectation not gonna always do this. It's going to eventually come to that, but a lot of times it's gonna be hit and miss. It's gonna be, you know, so you're like, man. But during that growth, during that fermentation process, because it's like you go out there and you plant something in the ground, you go out there 3, 4 days, a week and a half later, expecting to see what you planted to become a reality, but it ain't yet. You don't see none yet. You don't see no nothing breaking the soil, no buds springing up. So what you experiencing ain't lining up with what you expected, but you know you planted something. You know you planted something. See, expectation can only come. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Universe. Thank you, Universal Father. You can only expect something after you plant something. And what is planting? What is reaping and sowing? Sowing is planting. If you never sow, you can't expect a harvest. You can't expect to reap anything. However, the nature of reaping and sowing is whatever you sow, that you shall reap, whatever it is, good or bad, light or dark, uh, peace or chaos, whatever it is you sow, that is what you're going to get back. That's what the universe is going to give back to you. And the universe gives us examples of spiritual things through the earth. The same way it works in the earth realm, that's how the spiritual realm works. That's why you have to go and you have to dig up the ground. You have to dig up the earth. You have to plant the seeds in it, cover it up, water it, whatever, and then now you can expect to receive. Now you can expect to receive. So that time in between you sowing it, planting it, and it reaping, and you reaping it, that time in between, that wait period in between is what's very, very vital in the spirit. That's when something is happening in your understanding of God. That's where you and the universe start connecting. Because you say, I know I planted it. Now, you know, what a reaping at? Where's the reaping at? Because I planted it. So are you going to trust? Now, you can plant something in some bad soil, in bad ground, and you ain't going. You know what I'm saying? But uh, that's a different that's going a little bit somewhere else, but that I'm not trying to get into right now in this particular video. However, it's also true. The ground has to be fertile. Your spiritual ground has to be fertile. Uh, yeah, because the scriptures even speak on that. You know, the how some people can throw their seeds onto rocky, stony ground. It's not gonna fertilize. The ground uh, has to be fertile, has to be fertile to get the best harvest. So my next video, I guess I'll speak on how to make sure that that your spiritual ground is fertile. Because doubt can destroy your harvest, or it can hold it up. It can delay it because you ain't gonna receive nothing from God that you don't expect Him to give you, or that you don't believe He can give you. That ain't how they work. That's not how they work. He gives. Now he'll give it to the doubters sometime too. He'll still bless the doubters and the naysayers and just to show that he's who he is and he don't need your permission to bless you. But once you become more learned in the spirit, you understand the quickest way to get your uh, harvest is through faith. That's what uh, that's what fertilizes your seed. Dominique, Dorian, what y'all doing? What you doing? All right. So yeah, that's the best way to get what you what you believe in God for is to have faith. And he's such a good teacher that he tells us that. Such a good father, he even tell it. You want something from me, just believe I'll give it to you. Basically, I mean, there's other factors and steps in there, but overall, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, yeah, I'm gonna do a little more research and studying and praying and meditation. Then I'm gonna make a video about, how that fertilization of the soil, whether it be good or evil, experience versus expectation equals evolution. Peace. Hit y'all up with another video.